How do you train an effective workforce when your people start working remotely? In today's video, we're going to look at 7 tips to make your remote training more successful. Hi, I'm Markeisha, and I'm going to walk you through these tips on creating a training program for a remote workforce. Let's get started. Just like they were training in the office, remote employees need to get up to speed on new workflows and work arrangements. But now, the employees will be at home or other remote locations. While a lot of the solid training advice still applies no matter where an employee is located, having people in different locations often requires additional considerations for the training to be effective. Experts have shared 7 tips for making the most of your remote training efforts. In office, you usually have a dedicated space and standardized equipment for participants. For example, you may use a conference room with others, or you may be at your desk. When people are working from home, each home is set up differently. They might have their kids or spouse around distracting them, or they may have to work from the kitchen table. Terry McDougall, a business executive and career coach, says, you need to make sure each employee has the technology resources they need to fully participate. This could include a computer with a camera and microphone, adequate lighting, a quiet space, and relevant software. Next, nobody wants to sit on a video call all day. Mila Dorosh, head coach and facilitator at Boss Makes You Go Training, recommends you deliver remote training in reasonable chunks to avoid burnout for everybody. In her experience, 90 minutes seems to be the limit. She says it's the ideal amount of time to introduce a concept or a skill and have a useful discussion on it. You can always reconnect another day for a follow-up session and keep repeating this until you've given all the necessary information. Dorosh explains, your employees will be grateful for the time to properly absorb what you have shared. How about expectations? Just as inexperienced salespeople won't become top sellers in one day, quote, you won't be able to transform interns into company leaders over a single remote training session, says Dorosh. Come up with reasonable, simple training goals. Back to our sales example, you may want your sales team to learn a new closing tactic. Others might need to learn how to effectively delegate tasks to subordinates or a new workflow for escalating customer issues. Everyone is bound to have questions. Pairing new trainees with a partner that is someone who has already trained can be helpful to field all the questions. Christopher Prasad, marketing manager at Juke SMS, says this arrangement is better for both you and the employee. He said, employees tend to feel more comfortable asking peers questions about the things they don't understand, and you can focus on training other employees or your other managerial duties. Next, you must consider learning styles. There could be several different types of learners that make up your training class. Some people may be happy to spend hours watching videos and taking notes, whereas others will get distracted during your longer remote learning sessions. The latter would be better suited to training with shorter form, mixed media content. That might mean making videos shorter or showing videos in segments. Or you might need a written guide, since some employees thrive in an environment with more reading to learn a process or topic. Have you thought much about class size? When there are many employees who are training remotely, it can be beneficial to use small groups at different points of the training. There are features in online training platforms that can help, like breakout rooms in Zoom. You can essentially take people out of the main session and place them into separate virtual rooms. You can then use the breakout rooms as a smaller forum to discuss topics without having people talk over one another, says Michael Alexic, CEO of Team Building. Finally, make it fun. If you conduct too many training sessions, you might find that some trainees are browsing the internet or they're distracted in other ways. This is wasting your time and theirs. Instead, make an effort to increase the interactive and social components of your remote training to keep everyone engaged, Alexis says. Implementing these 7 tips will go a long way in your remote training, helping it to be more useful and more effective. The stress will be lower for all involved, and you might actually have some fun. Let's review those 7 tips. Ensure employees are properly set up. Break up training sessions into smaller parts. Set reasonable expectations. Create a buddy system. Adapt to different learning styles. Use small groups. Add some levity. That's all for now. Can you think of any things that might make remote training work better? I'm Markeisha, and I will see y'all later.